All right, so today we have an amazing question from Sabrina Fisher. Sabrina asks, how do you select an associate or a therapist that you want to add to your practice? So, how do you add someone to your practice? So, maybe you're filling up, maybe you're half full and you know that there's potential there. Whatever the reason is, a lot of people think to themselves, you know what? I really don't want to only make money specifically if I'm showing up in the office. I was just talking recently to a therapist in Denver, and she was saying the same thing, that she wants to go big, but she doesn't want to always have to be working to make money. And if you go on vacation, if you get sick, then you don't have that money. So having an associate, even if you don't want to have a giant group practice, is a great way to monetize what's already set up in your practice. So let's think about first why people want to be an associate or they want to be a 1099 or W 2. To us who think like business people, we're like, why wouldn't I just start my own business? Why would I give 50% of what I bring into somebody? A lot of people don't have the skill set or the desire to even set up a business. They want to show up, do the therapy, and walk away. Your competition is not against those who are starting a group practice or those that want to start their own practice. Your competition is against someone working at a nonprofit or at CMH. If you're making $40,000 a year, that breaks down to about $20 an hour. If you're making $100,000 a year, it's about $50 an hour. And so when you can show someone, hey, you can make $70 an hour working with me, that competes against those other jobs. You're not competing against someone who wants to start their own solo practice. So that's the first mindset, to just realize you are a unique person by just starting your own practice, by getting your website going, by getting, new clients, networking, all of those different things that it takes to have a group practice, you are able to do. But the average person maybe doesn't want to do all that. All right. So first, what services mirror you? All right. So we're not looking at just replacing you yet. We're looking at, okay, if you help couples, say you're Gottman certified and couples are your thing. A lot of them may have kids that are dealing with dysfunction in the family. A lot of those people might have teenagers that are frustrating. Maybe after that doesn't work out, maybe there's a divorce. Maybe you need to have a therapist that helps people after the divorce or through the divorce or through that transformation or transition. So finding different people that are going to mirror your services is one of the first steps. Next, we want to look at, who are you turning away? So who are you turning away? So a lot of folks will say, well, here's my specialty, and I refer all these other people out. So for example, when I did therapy, when I had my group practice, I saw teen boys. I didn't specialize in working with teen girls, and I was often referring teen girls out to other teen girl specialists. So I brought people in that could serve teen girls, that would serve a variety of styles of teen girls. So one of my clinicians was more kind of into yoga. Another one, she was more into fitness. Not that yoga and fitness are separate, but different kind of fitness. I had one that she was a snowboarder. So kind of, if you had the skater girl, she'd probably go to Sarah. If you had the more yoga girl, she'd probably go to Andrea. And so just being able to have a variety of people, they can take those folks that you typically would refer out. So you want to have that on your radar as well. Next, we want to look at whether it's a 1099 or a W-2. So in California, you've got to do W-2. I mean, that's just how the law is right now for employment law in California. In many states, there's some questions as to how much you want to be involved in your own therapist. So if you want to be super hands-on, if you want to be kind of telling them what to do, if you want to make sure that all the taxes are taken out appropriately, and you don't want to view them as a business within your business, probably W-2. And especially if you want to grow a mega group practice, having W-2s is usually better than 1099s. Whereas a 1099, that's kind of someone that, they show up, they do their therapy, they leave. Maybe they do some marketing, maybe they don't. More of it's on them. In the same way that you would think about, do you want someone that's going to be mowing your lawn? Like, that's a 1099 relationship. Whereas if you have a whole lawn care company, that's more of a W-2 relationship. All right. Next, you want to run the financial numbers. You want to know about how much it costs per client to get a client in if you're doing advertising. You want to be able to understand the finances to know how you can make a profit. Because I've heard some people say, I'm going to start right from the beginning and do a 75-25 split. If you're getting 25%, it's really hard to offer, say, a virtual assistant that can answer the phones and have an office space. Even if you don't have an office and you're all online, 25% is really low for you setting up a whole business. So you really want to run those numbers and look at creating a better split for yourself and then have the option to add incentives later. So next, what you're going to do is you are going to do some ad placements. So there's lots of places to do advertising. Facebook is a great place for some classifieds. That's where recently I've found a lot of our virtual assistants that we've brought onto the team, or even just letting other people know through your Facebook business page, your Google business page that you're hiring. Let your local chapters of the licensed professional counselors or social workers or MFTs know that you're hiring so that people can connect with you. Next, I would highly suggest you join Group Practice Launch. So, Group Practice Launch is our 6-month program where Allison and Whitney walk you through going from having no clinicians in your practice to having your first hire. And you're surrounded with a group of people. So, if you're interested in that, just go over to practiceofthepractice.com/apply. Jess will talk to you and then connect you with Allison and Whitney for their next cohort. Group Practice Launch is such an amazing program. We've seen people go from having nobody to having group practices in less than a year, to not just one person, but hiring 3 or 4 or 5 and building that passive income. So if you're serious about it, I would highly suggest you look into Group Practice Launch, and we can talk with you more about that over at practiceofthepractice.com/apply. The next thing when you start doing interviews is you want to actually think through, do you like this person? Do they feel like they match the culture you're building? Do they actually do things in a way that you find ethical? I remember I was having coffee with this one person that was looking to join my team, and they totally rubbed me the wrong way in the interview. And I just was in a point where I wanted to bring people in, and I was all about building the numbers and the passive income. And it was a terrible hire. She would get so mad at people for moving her scissors. So one of our clinicians who worked on the weekend, and they shared an office with this person, worked with really angry teens. They were often sometimes violent. And so she would put the scissors in the drawer rather than just leave them out. And this person was just like, who keeps moving my scissors? And if someone used her printer for like a page or two, she'd be like, I need my percentage of ink. And it was just, we were a no drama clinic, and none of us had experienced someone that brought drama. And very quickly, that person was not a fit. And I learned a lot about my hiring practices just by trusting my intuition from the beginning. So trust your intuition. Do you like this person? Do you enjoy them? Do they seem to kind of match where you're headed? Also, make sure that you're trying to have a diverse type of people that work at your office so that you can serve a lot of different people, and to help just continue to grow opportunities for a number of folks that maybe haven't had those opportunities. And lastly, I would suggest having an onboarding period of 3 months. Some might call it probationary. That seems a little bit harsh, but onboarding, where maybe there's a lower cut and you have very clear things that those people need to do. So, what does that onboarding look like? Make a checklist for yourself, give them the keys, make sure they have passwords, all those things to make it easier on yourself so that you can just get that person in the door and seeing clients. So, what are the things that you typically do? So, for me, on my onboarding checklist in the first 3 months, it was, we're going to go on local radio. We're going to announce you on the website. We'll announce you through social media. We'll have professional headshots taken. We'll get your business cards, all those things to just make sure that they have a really strong launch.